Hello everyone, this is Aditya Ashtika and I welcome you all to this session where we are going to discuss what is Prezi writing and how to solve Prezi writing passages and questions with ease. Prezi writing, an important topic from RBI Grade B point of view. In the descriptive section, you are asked to write a Prezi writing passage, or you are given a passage and you are asked to write a Prezi out of it. How to deal with Prezi writing, what is the correct way to deal with Prezi writing, and what can be the best approach to solve Prezi writing so that we are able to score maximum marks in this particular topic. That is what we are going to discuss in this short session. So let's start. First of all, the question arises, what actually is Prezi writing? So in simple terms, Prezi writing, this word Prezi is a French word, okay, is a French word and comes from the word precise. To make something precise means to cut it short, okay, to cut something short and to make it brief or accurate. That is what Prezi is all about. So when talking about Prezi writing is all about the summarization of the given text. Okay, you are provided with a paragraph and what you are expected to do, you are expected to summarize it and eliminate all the unnecessary details and focus only on the essence of the passage so that you can convey whatever the entire passage is talking about in a shorter version. Normally it's said that the given passage needs to be cut short, and while writing a Prezi, you can cut it short by 1/3. That means if you are given a paragraph of 300 words, so 1/3 of it will be around 100 words. So basically 100 words would be the Prezi that you are expected to form. Okay, so that means the essence should remain, the main thing, the main topic should remain, the essential details should remain, but all the you can say unnecessary details are to be eliminated. That is what the objective behind writing a Prezi is all about. If I give an example, just imagine if you went to watch a movie with your friends and after coming back home, your siblings or maybe your parents ask you what the movie was all about. I'm damn sure that you're not going to narrate the entire 3 hour story to them, right? What you are going to do instead, you are mostly going to give the essence of the crux of the story without revealing much. Okay, and you will be telling what the actual story was just in short words, okay, in lesser words. That is what you are expected to do in the Prezi writing as well. The only thing is that you have to cut it short by 1/3. Okay, so now let's have a look at some do's and don'ts that will give you a clear idea of how to solve Prezi writing passages. Before that, I have a quote for you which actually defines Prezi writing in the best possible manner. So Prezi writing is as short as the noon shadow and as authoritative as the edge of the pencil. So you are very well aware of the noon shadow, how short it is, right? As compared to the evening or morning shadows, it is quite short, right? And if talking about the edge of the pencil, that is authoritative. When you write it, when you sharpen your pencil and then write, it gives a better view, it gives authoritative look to the entire writing, right? That is what Prezi writing is all about, and that is what you are expected to do in the Prezi writing passage. Okay, so let's have a look at some do's and don'ts that will give us a clear idea of what we are expected to do and what we are expected to avoid while writing a Prezi. So do's of the passage, I already told you what it is all about. So that is what comprises the do's of Prezi writing. So number one comes, you need to start your Prezi with the main idea so that the reader can quickly understand the essence of the Prezi. Okay, so whatever you might be aware, if you are writing an essay or if you are writing anything, mostly first of all you try to form the base of that particular topic and then you introduce the topic, right? That is how we mostly go ahead with. So here, while writing Prezi, you straight away can jump onto the main topic, okay, the main point of that, the main idea, so that you are able to give the essence of the passage to the reader. Then as the main idea or essence is established, then you can follow it with some methods, facts, points, etc. Okay, first you have to establish that essence, and once that is done, then you can follow it with some points, some facts, some methods, some more techniques or whatever you need to list it. Then removing the irrelevant data is as important as writing the relevant points. No doubt, you have to write down the relevant points, but also make sure that you have eliminated all the irrelevant data. Or I can suggest you one more thing. uh, if there are proper nouns written somewhere, you need not write all the proper nouns, or you need not elaborate those proper nouns as they have been written in the passage, but you can cut them short. You can just write the common nouns and then you can suggest what is being talked about, or you can cut them short and write them in pointers, in the form of pointers, just adding some commas in between so that the entire things are covered, and also you don't have to elaborate it in detail. Okay, and thus identify the superfluous data and facts and keep the core idea of the work only in Precis. So what you have to do, you have to eliminate all the superfluous data, and what you need to focus on is the core idea of the entire passage. Okay, so that's the do's. If talking about don'ts, so you need to avoid some other things. What are those things? First of all, when talking about the don'ts of Precis writing, after reading the passage, even though you have understood the Precis well, do not form your own opinions. Okay, mostly I have seen aspirants committing this mistake. They have understood something and then they start, you can say, start generating ideas from within and try to add some information which is not even given in the passage. Don't do that, else you will be at risk. Okay, so basically, what you need to do is you just have to find out whatever the information given is, you have to focus on them, and better way would be to write down the pointers. Okay, if you can, the best way will be to summarize all the paragraphs, okay, of the entire passage. You have to summarize all the paragraphs, and you need to make sure you are not adding in information from your side. Also, you cannot insert your own remarks or criticism in a précis. Don't add anything from your side, not even some criticism need to be added. Okay, always take the fact and data that is already provided to you in the paragraph. Avoid being jerky. What do you mean by the word jerky here? I'll let you know. So avoid being jerky. This will show that you have not understood the passage and you have just started writing the précis. Avoid being jerky means there should not be some abrupt starting or abrupt endings to the passage. Okay, it should be somewhat which follows the structure of the sentence, which follows the framing. It is in good flow so that the entire message is conveyed in a well structured way. That's what you have to do while writing Precis. So now just let's have a look at one example so that we get an idea of what can be done out of the Precis. One suggestion for you, a general suggestion that I give to all my viewers: try to use the technique of visualization. What is that? Visualization is simply not just simply reading the given text, but also picturizing it in your mind so that you get a clear idea of what is being expressed, so that comprehending it becomes quite easy. Just have a look what I am going to do with this given passage. So it is talking about some enemy. Let's read it, and then whenever my inputs are needed, I'll definitely provide you with those inputs and insights. It says there is an enemy beneath our feet. Okay, an enemy more deadly for his complete impartiality. He recognizes no national boundaries, no political parties. Everyone in the world is threatened by him. What is it talking about? The enemy is the earth itself. How? When an earthquake strikes, the world trembles. Now you get the essence. Now you get the main point of the entire passage. That is what it is talking about. It's talking about earthquake. Right? Okay, it is talking about the earthquake. Before that, they were just trying to create the base for it, and then they introduced it earthquake. Okay, so the enemy is the earth itself. When an earthquake strikes, the world trembles. That means the power of earthquake is being shown. Okay, the power of a quake is greater than anything man himself can produce, obviously. But today, scientists are directing a great deal of their effort into finding some way of combating earthquakes, and it is possible that at some time in the near future, mankind will have discovered a means of protecting itself from earthquake. This transition word, pay attention towards these transition words because they may change the flow of the passage, may change the tone of the passage. Okay, so in the initial part of the paragraph, what I got to see was they were talking, they had just introduced earthquake and how powerful it can be, and then after using the word the transition word but, they are talking about scientists and how scientists are trying to find out a solution to this problem of earthquake so that we can protect ourselves. Going ahead, it says an earthquake strikes without warning. Okay, when it does, its power is immense, no doubt. If it strikes a modern city, the damage it causes is as great as if it has struck a primitive village. Gas mains burst, explosions are caused, and fires are started. These all points can be summarized into just one. Okay, that's what you have to do. Underground railways are wrecked. As I told you, proper nouns need to be eliminated and a common noun which can conclude all those points in one line. That is what will be the main intention. So buildings collapse, bridges fall, dams burst, gaping crevices appear in busy streets. If the quake strikes at sea, huge tidal waves sweep inland. If it strikes in mountain ranges, avalanches roll down into the valley. So what I can conclude from this particular paragraph is, initially they were talking about the earthquake, the problems or the, you can say, destruction caused by earthquake in general. And then when talking about these things at sea, huge tidal waves sweep inland. If it's striking mountain ranges, avalanches roll down. Now they have shifted their way towards talking about earthquake, destruction caused by earthquake in particular. Okay, in specific sense. See, they have also talked about some example. Consider the terrifying statistics from the past. 1755, Lisbon, capital of Portugal, the city was destroyed entirely and 450 killed. In 1970, Peru, 50,000 killed. In 1968, an earthquake struck Alaska. As this is a relatively underpopulated part, only a few people were killed. So now they are talking about earthquake in specific, in particular sense. But it is likely that this was one of the most powerful quakes ever to have hit the world. Geologists estimate that during the tremors, the whole of the state moved over 80 feet farther west into the Pacific Ocean. So that is quite a great destruction, right? Imagine the power of something that can move an entire subcontinent. We can definitely imagine it, right? This is the problem that the scientists face. Now they have shifted their way again towards the scientists. They were talking about scientists trying to find out some solution. That's what they are saying. This is the problem that scientists face. They are dealing with forces so immense that man cannot hope to resist them. All that can be done is to try to pinpoint just where the earthquake will strike and work from there. At least some precautionary measures can then be taken to save lives and some of the property. So one suggestion, if you straight away move on to, you can say, writing the summary or the précis, this may be somewhat tricky. Okay, you may not be able to recall what all things we have read. That is why after the completion of each paragraph, I would suggest to make some points. Okay, as we have already concluded, we have already covered those 4 points. Initially in the first paragraph, they were talking about earthquakes, what they are. Okay, so they have introduced earthquakes. In second, they were talking about earthquakes in general. Then, yeah, you can say the destruction caused by earthquake in general, followed by the destruction caused by earthquake in particular, and then moving on to scientists, the problems faced by scientists. So we have to list those points down so that we can elaborate them a bit and then write the final draft. So based on the paragraph, we arrive at the following theme sentences for the 4 paragraphs. Earthquake, the deadly enemy of mankind. That is what the introduction was all about. Okay, what is earthquake? It is a deadly enemy of mankind. Then damage caused by earthquake in general, damage caused by earthquake in particular, and then what can scientists do? Now we have got the summaries of each paragraph. Now we can elaborate them a bit so that we get the essence of the passage and we are able to cover it in the 1/3 part required. Okay. So the previous 4 theme sentences can be now developed into the following outline. The first one was earthquake, which was, you can say, the destructor of mankind, the deadly enemy of mankind. So what all things are listed? Earthquake strikes all without a distinction of national boundary or political situation. It was clearly mentioned in the first line. Okay. Deadly for us, complete impartiality. He recognizes no national boundaries and no political parties, right? So that's what they have. That's what we have written here. Okay. Earthquake strikes all without a distinction of national boundary or political affiliation. The power of a quake. Then they were talking about the power of the quake. Okay, it's quite immense. The power of quake is greater than that of any man-made weapon of destruction. This is also covered. Then scientists were talked about. So scientists are trying to find out the means to combat earthquake. They will find some way to protect themselves from earthquake. That is what has been listed there. Now talking about damage caused by earthquake in general. It strikes without warning. Modern city when struck reduced to a primitive village. Then talk about damage caused by earthquake in particular. So quake strikes plains, seas and mountains causing all-round destruction. In 1758, Lisbon destroyed 450 killed. In 1970, Peru struck 50,000 killed. In 1968, Alaska hit. Subcontinent moved 80 feet into the Pacific Ocean. And then what can scientists do? So scientists cannot resist the powerful earthquake. They can predict the place of origin of the quake so that precaution can be taken to save man and property. So we cannot, you can say, find out a solution to stop earthquake permanently, but definitely we can find out a solution so that we get an idea of when an earthquake may strike. Okay, what are the, you can say, indications that earthquake is going to come. So if that can be found out, we can definitely save some property as well as life, right? So now we just need to keep write all these points down in a paragraph so that the essence of the passage is then maintained. So what are we going to include in the final draft? Let's have a look. So first of all, I have given the heading, that is earthquake the great destroyer. Okay, the earthquake the great destroyer, because it is all talking about destruction, right? So based on that, earthquake is the mankind's deadly enemy. That was the core of the passage, right? Earthquake is the mankind's deadly enemy. Earthquake strikes all without a distinction of nationality or political affiliation. The power of a quake is greater than that of any man-made weapon of destruction. An earthquake strikes mankind without a warning. A modern city when struck is devastated. A quake strikes plains, seas and mountains, causing all-round destruction. The quake struck Lisbon in 1755, killing 450, Peru in 1970, killing 50,000, and Alaska in 1968, moving it 80 feet into the Pacific Ocean. Scientists are trying to find out means to combat earthquakes to predict the origin of the quake so that precaution can be taken to save men and property from destruction. So you might have seen how easily we have covered all the points just with the help of writing out the pointers. If you have written down the pointers and elaborated them a bit, an easy way of writing the entire précis of the given passage can be, you can say, formed. So that's what is required from your side. So if I just summarize the entire thing, we just need to read the passage in detail, read the entire passage in detail, and with the help of that reading part, what we have to do is we have to summarize each of the paragraphs. Each of the paragraphs present there need to be summarized. In case the entire paragraph has no, yeah, you can say entire passage has no paragraphs included, then you can cut them short. Yeah, you can just mark some, you can say, points, or you can just end it at a full stop, and then based on that you can summarize it. Just with the help of 3-4 summaries, you can write down the précis in an easy manner. I hope so this strategy will help you write down the précis in an easy manner, and you can definitely, with the help of practice, achieve the skills, or you can say you can attain those skills. You can definitely grab those skills which can help you find out the best solution to the given passage. Okay, so that's it from my side in this particular session. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Keep watching and keep learning.